So we're in Clovis, California, getting ready to set finish in the hall bath. And first thing we're looking at is the countertop here. Looks like the tile guy walked his bit up on top of the counter, and if it covers, great. If not, I mean, there's not much we can do about it. So anyways, this box was left open, and there's dust everywhere. So, you know, hopefully nothing's damaged. You know, usually just want to keep these sealed until we're ready for use, but you can see it wasn't. So hopefully nothing got chipped, or it hopefully it's just dirty. Let's put it that way. Down here you have issue with the cabinetry, and I don't know your cabinet people, but our cabinet guy knows, you know, shelf can't be in here, and that's probably the way you designed it, which is fine, but there's nobody to get a trap in there. I'm gonna have to cut the part of it back out, and to do it cleanly, I don't know how to cut it, you know, how to get something there and tool out the back of this shelf so you can get a trap in there. And then of course your drain's all the way here at the front, you know, so which means basically all of your shelf would come out. So I'm not sure why it's in there. I know it's great for storage, and I'm sure that's what you intended, but there's going to be quite a bit of tooling in here, and I don't know if we're going to like it when I get done, because I need to get a trap in there. You know, that's the part that swings down and comes back up, and so a little problematic. And anyways, we're just looking, you know, looking at different things underneath here. The baseboard's been painted blue, you know, after it was painted white, and I guess those are just details and no big deal. But anyways, not thrilled about the sink install. The tub should be okay. Haven't looked at that yet. Toilet should be okay. Haven't looked at that yet. Kitchen looks all right, because they got a nice apron sink in here, and they use the brackets like we talked about underneath. So this is nice and clear and open. Now, this is what we like to see in here. You know, we like to, and of course now you can see just a nit and pick of mine. That big old cut that they made on your electrical outlet, and then put the cover plate back in behind it. It's just, you know. Anyways, that's not us, so I won't worry about that. Anyways, it all looks good in here. So you got the waste lines, the drain line, whatnot, and, you know, the water's pretty tight back there, but we'll be able to get this one set. Not a problem. Faucet's a nice faucet. And so the trim, and then of course this, you talked to Roger. Roger's Appliance about getting your stove installed, refrigerator installed, washer, dryer installed. Unfortunately, we won't be able to install this. This is not in my area of expertise, this high-end dishwasher. I think this is one of those kosher style, I believe. So very expensive dishwasher, and I'm just used to like a little GE plugs in there, you know, done. And so I'm going to leave this to the appliance expert to get this installed for you. I apologize for that, but I don't want to mess this up. It is a nice dishwasher. So, and then I'm assuming that, you know, the only thing we need for the washing machine is just the trim. You know, this will be Roger's Appliance, or whoever you've chosen to work with. So that'll be what they're going to do right there. Looks like you still need paint in here, so we got a nice cover plate for that. So we'll get a cover plate on there, and then the trim plate. Well, I guess we'll leave it off because you're not painted yet. But anyways, so we'll get started in the bathroom, and like I said, we're going to have to do some modification to that cabinet. I just don't know what it's going to look like when we get done, and you know, hopefully, and you'll like it when we're done. We're not cabinet makers, so we don't really have the tools to modify that cabinet on the other side, but we're going to take a bash at it and get that sink hooked up for you. So just a quick add-on to the video here. The toilets have a concealed mounting flange that goes in here and mounts to the floor. Unfortunately, the flooring people overcut the hole. So this black plastic is supposed to sit down on the floor, you can see, and that's what supports it. Wax rings go in between. Since they overcut it, when you go to put it in, it drops, you can see it drops down into the hole. There's no support. And so, I mean, there's a couple things you could do, maybe. You know, we're not going to do it. Is go to a different toilet, you know. I mean, you already have this and it's already out of the box, so I guess we'll try and set it, but there's just no way to keep it from moving around. So anyways, I just wanted to document that if you start having trouble with this mounting system, you know, with a regular toilet, it just mounts right to the bolt. It doesn't matter how big that hole is as long as the toilet covers that hole. So you can see, here's the edge of the flange. They're an inch outside of it. That's extraneous. I mean, I got a tape measure, you got a tape measure, everybody has a tape measure, and you can see how large they overcut it. It needs to be up against the steel, and you can see all the way around they've just overcut that hole. What we can try to do is pull it forward so that at least this front edge right here touches the ground, and it pulls the bolts forward a little bit, but then you've got the support back here on this back portion. Should be okay. So we're going to try and do that. We're going to try and pull it as far forward as we can off of these holes. Actually, you know, we may not be able to do that because the bracket is designed to go in the center. Anyways, a little bit extra work. Not sure what we'll do yet, but we'll figure something out. And of course, we're going to take a video when we get done with all the installations today. So we're in Clovis, California. We just finished installing some plumbing here at a little complex downtown Clovis. There's the ice box with the trim on, and so that was roughed in. I sprayed stuff all over it, so whatever. Main thing is it works, and then take that nut off right there and get your refrigerator hooked up over here. Sink was installed. We installed the faucet. And then this is their sink that was already installed in their disposal, and so we installed that. And then they didn't have a basket strainer, so we bought one, installed that. And then of course telescoping kit, that's part of the disposal kit, the white tubing to the quick connect, and then that's our telescoping tee and trap over to the wall, so that's all ours. And then everything's tied back in. Right now you have a temporary little stub right there, that 7/8 hose with the hose clamps on it. That's to keep the water from coming out the top hole. You don't have your dishwasher installed, and the plug needs to be knocked out. We don't want someone hammering on this disposal while it's in place and breaking loose the seal. So what we do is we just take a piece of 7/8 hose, shove a nipple in it, and cap and whatever, just to plug it off. So if water does escape, it's going to go in here. When your dishwasher installer comes out, he'll just take that first hose clamp, pull that whole assembly off, throw it away, hook the hose up to it. So. And then of course we got the cold water loop back in over the ice maker. You can see back there, a little jumper cable, 3/8 by 3/8, and then the 3/8 T going up to the faucet on the cold side. Same thing on the hot side. We got a 3/8 T, except for one is just capped off with a temporary line. You can see down here. That's capped off because 3/8 line goes over to the dishwasher, and so it's tied in right now to the angle stop. Hot water's on, and so that keeps the water from spraying out. So once they get their hole drilled and running through, you can just take components off. You don't leave the jumper on to the ice maker. That's how the water gets over there. So let's go out in the kitchen. And in the bathroom, actually let me show you the laundry room first. So the laundry room was just a trim plate. That's all. Wall's not painted, so you can pop it off and paint it or not. It's up to you. But they came in the box, so it's installed, and then here little cover for the clean out. That's required by code in the event you get trouble in the drainage in this laundry. In the washing machine, you can run a snake down there, and so that's good. In the bathroom, so you know, we called you and let you know that there was problems with the cabinetry, and you know, we're not cabinet people. I mean, I used to be 30 years ago or so, 35 years ago, but anyways, the trap needed to be penetrated through, and you can see what it did. You know, just drilled a hole here, and then drilled a hole there, and then of course cut it out. And it's all freehand cutting. It's real nice if you do this before you install a cabinet. You can use tools. You can get it nice and straight. Well, it's as straight as I can get it for freehanding with a sawzall and a hole saw bit. So, anyways, traps in, and then like I was telling you, it is 90 up and over that way. Because otherwise this would trap right here straight down, and you'd have to cut the cabinet all the way almost out to the front, all the way to here. And so we got it nice and tight back there, so you can still utilize some of this some of the shelf space. So that's tied in, and water lines are tied in, hot and cold, faucets set, so that's good. Toilet, we're not real fond of this style toilet. We don't like the way it mounts, but that's just a personal opinion. We got a couple shims there, but there is some movement in the toilet. The way that it seats, normally a toilet, it sits down on top of the wax ring and it seals from the bowl to the floor flange. This has an integrated plastic flange that 90's back, and all the wax is and sealing happens with that integrated flange. The hole was overcut. It didn't seat correctly. We shimmed it the best we could for the isolated flange, the hidden flange that's in there. Because, and then we showed you the hole was too big on the floor around the flange. They just cut it too big. So we shimmed it with some toilet shims to keep it kind of flat, tighten it all down, set the bowl, but there's still movement in the floor. So you got a little bit of movement in the toilet. I don't know what to do with that. Normally we like to see it nice and tight, like you would on a tile floor or even just solid cement. Just a little bit of movement, but just monitor. You know, monitor for anything. We're not gonna adapt this in. The reason being is the floor tile that you've got in here, this laminate floor, whatever you have, it's embossed grain. And when we go to run the caulking around and we go to wipe it out, it just smears all in that grain and it turns it white. So we're gonna leave it open and you know, just take it for a test drive, see how you like it. In here, trim set fine, everything was good. Unfortunately, your tub, they pulled out the tub liner a little early. You can see your sealer, your wall sealer, your waterproof membrane that they roll on the wall. It's all over the tub. Dirt, mortar, grout, it's scratched, dinged up, and you know, we went to great lengths to protect this tub, and when we left, you know, we documented it and it was in tip-top shape. So you'll just have to have a cleaning crew come in and see what they can do to get that off of there and then clean it up and you know, get it going. So what's interesting is the trim we set is chrome, and then the overflow drain and shoe plate is brushed nickel. So I don't know if that was just an error or what, but this was installed at rough and provided by the homeowner. So it doesn't match, but it's fine. I mean, it looks nice, so no big deal. And so everything here is installed. Bathroom's done, kitchen's done. Can't think of anything else we're supposed to do. We'll get you a video this afternoon and bill you out probably through Square App. Outside of that, this installation is done.